is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back here with some more Resident Evil 5 gameplay for you. And today I'm going to be talking about how I've always been someone who has been very eerie, leery, whatever you want to call it, just kind of skeptical when it comes to JillValentine and her future ever since she is seemingly come back in the Death Island CGI movie. And I said it back then, and I'll reiterate it now. Even though I was happy to see her come back, brought back for the first time in God knows how many years, like 13, 14 years in terms of having an event post Resident Evil 5, I still didn't want to lay off the trigger because at the end of the day, I said it then, I'll say it now, Capcom has got to do something, not just simply bring her back in a CGI movie. How about bring her back and have her be a main playable character in a brand new mainline Resident Evil game? And I'm still not going to lay off the trigger of that. But a lot of people kind of were like, I guess, lured into a false sense of security thinking, oh, they brought her back, they're obviously going to do something, and you assume they're going to do something. But guys, here's the reality. And here's something I want everyone to really get through their head. And once again, I'm not trying to be, it's funny because guys at work always call me nickname Doom and Gloom because I'm always bringing everything down, the mood down. I'm not trying to do it on purpose. I've just always been a type of person, I like to keep it real. I like to tell you how I honestly feel and give you the cold hard facts, the God honest truth. Because sometimes I feel like we kind of try to mince our words or try to be nice or hold back, but sometimes just got to go straight out for the kill, straight for the throat, the jugular. And it's as simple as this. I don't have a lot of faith in Capcom. I'm not even talking about in terms of them doing the character right. I'm just talking about in terms of them just using the character. Because I'll be honest with you, until they actually use Jill in a brand new mainline Resident Evil game, I'm kind of in that mindset. I won't see it until I believe it. But why am I so non-hopeful in that? What is it that got me so kind of skeptical about it? Well, I'm going to give you one stat that may blow your mind. Because I'll be honest with you, I've kind of talked about this before, but maybe I need to really dedicate an entire video because of this one stat. And it's going to be this, okay? I'm not even talking about in terms of, Capcom, how they can use the character effectively. I'm just talking about one thing that goes even beyond that. And it's going to blow your mind because I don't think people really realize this, all right? It's why I'm very skeptical and hesitant of Capcom in terms of using Jill, if they even will use her. And it's this. Are you ready for this? So I talked about in the past how it was about 13, 14 years since Jill appeared in anything post Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 came out in 2009, and Death Island came back in 2023. So it was basically like a 14-year gap in our time of Jill occurring or having an event post Resident Evil 5. That's a long time. But I'm going to give you a number even more mind-boggling than that. You ready? I hyped it up, so it's time I deliver. Did you know that JillValentine is the only main character in Resident Evil in terms of the major Resident Evil games? Mainline Resident Evil games, not spin-offs, not remakes, because as I said, spin-offs are spin-offs, and remakes are just remaking older titles. But in terms of being a main character in Resident Evil, in a mainline Resident Evil game, brand new Resident Evil game, JillValentine is the only main character who has not starred in a mainline Resident Evil game in this century.
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Let me repeat that. JillValentine is the only main character in Resident Evil who has not starred in a mainline Resident Evil game in this century. Every other character who has been a main character in a mainline brand new Resident Evil game has starred in a mainline Resident Evil game as a main character in this century except for JillValentine. So Chris, Leon, Ada, Jake, Helena, all the people in Resident Evil 6, Sheva, Chris, and Resident Evil 5, Rebecca, Claire, like every one of them has at least been a main character in a mainline Resident Evil game in this century. In terms of when the game came out. Obviously Claire's last was Code Veronica, and it's close, but hey, it's in this century, so hey, you know what? Maybe Claire's got one thing finally where she's not the most disrespected thing, but character in the whole franchise. And yeah, even Rebecca and Billy, because, Resident Evil 0 came out in 2002, but that's right, people. Jill Valentine has not been a main character in a brand new mainline Resident Evil game in this century.
God damn it, when does it end?
Not only does that sound so sad, it just makes me sound so old at the same time, but damn. That was during the PS1 era, guys, in case you have no idea what I'm talking about. Obviously, Resident Evil Nemesis in 1999. That's a long time. And this is Jill Valentine, people. One of the most iconic Resident Evil characters, one of the most iconic, I guess, female characters of all time. Like, that's what they're doing to Jill. It's been that long. And I know some people might try to mince words. Well, they've been in the spin-offs. I said spin-offs for spin-offs. They're not mainline Resident Evil games. They're spin-offs. And Resident Evil 3 Remake, that's a remake. It's just remaking an older game we already had. Like, they're not brand new mainline Resident Evil games. So it's been that long since Jill Valentine had the respect of being in a mainline, brand new Resident Evil game and being the main character. That's how long it's been. That's just pathetic. That's just sad. Like, are you kidding me? So when you see me be very cautious in terms of getting the pom-poms out and being all excited, while I was happy to see Jill finally return, maybe you can understand through that stat alone why I'm just like, I'm very nervous and I'm always expecting the worst, because how else am I supposed to feel? I mean, it's almost as if it's just like they will do anything to avoid her being in that. So, yes, while with the whole discourse of Resident Evil 9 being, is she going to be in the game? Is she not? Who knows? I mean, we'll just wait the official announcement. It's why until I see it, I won't believe it. And if she doesn't become a main character in Resident Evil 9, I really won't be too disappointed at this point, because, I mean, it's been over a quarter century since she's been a main character, so it's nothing different. I mean, it's kind of like being a Dino Crisis fan. We're just used to it at this point. We might as well be numb to the pain as well. But, like, yeah, I just wanted to point out that whole statistic right there, that whole little fact there, because I see a lot of optimism about, they brought back Death Island. We saw her team up with Leon. They got to do it. And maybe they got to do it, but will they do it? As I said, until I see them actually do it, I won't believe it. All right? Because trust me, we know they'll put Leon in there. We know they'll put Chris in there. And I even was joking with one of my people on the internet who loves Ethan. They'll probably bring back Ethan back to life and put him in there over putting Jill in there. So, it is what it is. It's been a long time. And it's sad that a character like Jill has been neglected that long, and it's mind-boggling. You really got to sit down and look at it through a different perspective to really understand how long that is. But that's why, in case you were wondering why I've always been very, maybe, as I said, doom and gloom with all this Jill discourse in terms of, I'm always expecting the worst. Well, that's why. That's why it always is, because Capcom hasn't given me any reason to think, oh my God, they're actually going to use her as a main character. And I also want to remind you, I'm just talking about using them. The whole discourse around, can they use them effectively? That's another discussion for another day. But hopefully I made that clear to you. I just wanted to post that statistic. But at the end of the day, as I always like to say, that's my opinion. I want to hear your guys' opinion. Are you someone that feels the way I do, where it's like, Jill Valentine has not been used for so long in that way that till I see it, I believe it? Did you even know that whole statistic I gave you? Did you know how long ago that was? Did you ever even really think about it? Or if not, let me know. And are you someone who, are you on that fence of Resident Evil 9? Like, you know what? Because I've heard this whole discourse too. if Resident Evil 9 doesn't have Jill Valentine, I'm not going to play it, which I've heard a lot of people say that, which I don't believe that, because I know people will say one thing and do the next. But, you can be disappointed, but I know they'll probably still buy the game. But yeah, let me know where you are with this whole Jill discourse, and do you think Capcom will ever make her a main character in a brand new mainline Resident Evil game? I feel like, the answer should be, yeah, obviously, I hope, but who knows? It's already been 25 plus years, so hopefully it won't turn into the Titanic lady and it turns into it's been 86 years or whatever number she said. But that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully I can see you guys back in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you all later. Peace.